Ihlfeld, and I work for Hanna and Plaut in Austin, Texas. The thing I love about this firm is, and a lot of firms that I've been at, or some, they really do take pride in all the work that they do. They really want to produce a good product, and but pretty much everybody there, they want to put out the best work that they can, and I appreciate that, because that's what I want to do, is to put out the best work that I can every day. I'm not just there to get a paycheck, and I think they feel that way as well. Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about this and thinking about, I had an old secretary who taught me, kind of what I know, and her comment was that, she remembers the carbon copy days. And so I'm not quite that old. I don't remember carbon paper, but, the day of no computers, mag cards, we barely had copiers that worked, so. Electronic, everything going electronic, and it's been everything from, our whole filing system has changed dramatically based on, used to, we had, a huge file, and because we work with insurance companies, we do insurance defense a lot, and construction law, and so, those can be very large, giant cases with lots of documents, and they, used to, you had to have a copy, an original, and then you had a copy, and then you had a copy of the copy, and you had to keep all those things, and then you might be making more copies to distribute, and nowadays, I just call TERIS, and I get it all on CD, and we pass it all out. So, yeah, it's been tremendous. That's an e-filing, of course. Yeah, it's great, because almost every county, except for some of the very smaller ones in Texas, all do e-filing, and you just sign up with a subscriber, and you go out and click and scan the document, and boom, you're e-filed, and no more of this overnighting or dashing. I've had runners drive to counties to get things filed on time, so yeah, no more of that, just a click of a button. Well, like I said, we do insurance defense and construction law, and we do workers' compensation. So because we represent insurance companies, there again, they are just paper magnets. They love, big, huge volumes of paper, and then they need every piece of paper that they have, and of course, then they pass that on to us. And then the construction cases, we have one of those right now with 50 defendants, and so that's a huge volume case. Well, our client in this is a very small client. He had a very small part in this job, and we have over 10,000 pages. And so then you start looking at the big, huge clients, and they've got, just 100,000 pages. I mean, and that's just their little part as well. So if you've got, my little client has 10,000 pages, and you've got 50 of those, you're looking at, what is that? Do the math quick.
500,000?
Yeah, it's way too many pieces of paper, and especially to have hard copies of everything. It's impossible. But that's one of the things that TERIS has really done for us, is to bring us into 2010 almost, is that by their knowledge and by their suggestions, and Ryan has been wonderful about that. In fact, he helped us with this construction case. It was his ideas, and his bosses, they all came over. We sat down, we talked about the whole case, and figured out what was the best way to get what we needed without our whole file room being pages and pages of documents. Yeah, it was wonderful, because like I said, we're a small firm, and we were sort of new at this too, and we were used to having all that paper, and lawyers can sometimes be very, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so they were, I need that paper, and it's like, no, you really don't. You can look, but sometimes you need a consultant who's also got the personality to be able to come over and say, no, really, I can make this work for you, and I can make it work well, and convince them. And then they were convinced. And so now we have almost completely converted to doing everything. We're scanning almost everything, and TERIS is doing all that for us. They are scanning everything. They bates it for us. They hold it in their system for us, and then I can pick up the phone at any time and call Ryan and say, hey, that job number so-and-so, I need 4 CDs, and boom, they're there an hour later. It's incredible. And since we had another vendor that was doing a terrible job for us, and finally I had to say, I just can't do this anymore. They are completely impeding my entire work product. I can't get my job done if we continue to use them. So we don't use them anymore. But with TERIS, we've just never had that problem. I mean, the thing I love about TERIS and about Ryan when he comes over is that, like I said, sometimes I don't know what I want, or I know what I want, but I don't know how to tell him what I want, and he almost always, he knows what question to ask me. He knows to say, well, do you want this? Did you mean to do that? Did you mean, he's always very questioning me, and for me, from my end, to be able to communicate with him and figure out, what we need to make my job easier, that's the most important thing. He makes my job easier. Well, it is critical for me because there has been a learning curve, like I said. Not only am I old school, but then when you work for old school to some degree, so it's been nice that he's been current, cutting edge, and able to help bring me and our firm up into, the 2010, like I said.
The modern age.